And that's why the value of the dollar is dropping off so fast. And the same thing is happening in the other fiat currencies of the world, but because for example, the euro is a newer currency, it hasn't got quite far up the curve yet. It's actually not growing as fast as the U.S. dollar is, and that's why the U.S. dollar is lagging behind the euro. That's the main reason for it. And it's quite simple, actually, if you understand how it works. And I really suggest you watch that video, as you'll get a good idea of how the system came to be and the history of it and how it works. I'm going to try and make a very simple analogy in my own way to try and explain it to some people. I don't know how good it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. You can envision this a little easier. So I'm going to call my economy on the economy of the planet Click. Now, in the beginning, on the planet Click, there are 20 pigs. They're all owned by the public. And the economy is of such a nature that the public has to trade their pigs in order to survive. There's 20 pigs. The pigs must circulate in the economy in order for the people on the planet Click to survive. So it's basically just a service economy. The economy is such that the pigs don't reproduce, and there's always 20 pigs in existence on the planet Click. Now, the planet Click consists of two people, person A and person B. Now, in the beginning, each person owns 10 pigs each. Now, in order to live, they have to exchange their pigs on a yearly basis. Well, the faster they exchange their pigs, the happier they are. But obviously, they can't exchange more than they have, so they're going to exchange 10 pigs every year. So what I've just basically described is a very simple economy that is fixed in size. It doesn't grow or shrink. It stays the same all the time. The only activity is the exchange of pigs. Now enter the banker and the government. And the government decides that pigs must now be exchanged in dollars. It's legal tender, and you cannot exchange your pigs the way you used to by simple trade. Now you must use legal tender, which is, we're going to call it the dollar. So that means in order to exchange, and the government says we're going to set the value of the dollar as equal to one pig, and we're going to charge you interest at 10% a year on dollars that you hold. So the government and the bankers somehow get together, and this is how they're going to work the system. To simplify things further, we'll say the banker and the government are one person. They are called from now on the banker. So at the beginning of the year, the public A and B borrows $10 because they want to exchange all 10 pigs they own. So they borrow $10 from the bank each. Now there's $20 in the economy and 20 pigs. Now it's important to note one important fact, and that is that the banker did not actually have the $20 in some kind of reserve somewhere. The banker created the money out of nothing, basically by making the statement that the dollar was worth one pig. Okay, the banker decides that he needs a much needed holiday, so he takes off for the planet Spam. In the meantime, during that year's period, the public A and B exchanged their pigs in dollars. So at the end of the year, they each exchanged their 20 pigs. There's still 20 pigs in the economy. There's still $20 in the economy. But now the banker returns from his holiday, and Planet Spam says, "It's time for you to pay me now. You owe me $11.05, because the $1.05 is the compound amount of interest on $10 over a 1 year period." Now already the public has a problem because they only have $10. They've exchanged their 10 pigs and they now have $10. The banker says, "Oh, no problem. I'll lend you the $1.05 that you need to pay the full amount." Now let's assume that the public A and B want to have minimum deficit spending, so because they're very prudent, and so they each pay the banker $1.05 and borrow another $10, the amount they think they need to exchange their pigs the next year. The banker now has $2.10, and the public has $20. So the total money in circulation is now $22.10. The money supply has increased 10.5%. And now the real value of the dollar is 20 divided by 22.1, which is 0.905 pigs in actuality. The banker has $2.10 in his coffers. Now, but the banker, knowing full well that the dollar he holds, the $2.10 he now holds, are actually only worth 1.81 pigs, he quickly buys 2.1 pigs from the public. And he returns those pigs to their care. So there's still 20 pigs in the economy. And there's $22.10 in circulation. Then the banker decides to take another trip to Spam. Now, the trick here is he could buy the 2.1 pigs because the public does not yet realize the value of the dollar has actually dropped to 0.905 pigs. So the banker buys the full 2.1 pigs because the public is unaware the value of the currency has actually dropped. Okay, now keep in mind that the banker has purchased these 2.1 pigs and returned them to the economy. The public still sees 20 pigs, and the public now has $11.05 each in their coffers. Now, the next year's pig exchange begins, and at some point during the year, the public realizes that they can only buy 18.1 pigs with $10 now, but they actually still have $11.10 each, so they're quite happy. They spend $11.10 to buy the same, or circulate the same 10 pigs as they did last year. But they can't quite figure out what's going on there because they're not two bright pig farmers. That's the problem. So they spend all $11.05 and they circulate their 10 pigs during the year. The banker got his 2.1 pigs for nothing. When the banker returns from the second year from his holiday in Spam, he says to the public, the problem is that the pigs are fatter this year, and the grass is more plentiful because there was lots of rain. That's why it took $11.05 to exchange your pigs this year. Don't worry about it. The problem is very short-lived. I'm sure that the long-term outlook for rain is lower, and therefore it'll be back to normal $10 next year. And if there is a problem, don't worry. I am looking out for your best interest, and if there's a real problem here, I will lower the interest rates so that you people can live quite comfortably. Remember, I always have your best interest in mind, and I'm in control. So the public is pacified by what the banker says, and they actually do have more money in their pockets. So, and they can still see 20 pigs, so they're content to continue with the status quo. Year after year, the dollar thusly devalues, and it takes more and more of them to buy the same thing in the economy. Banker gets richer, while the public gets poorer, until the banker owns all the pigs. The banker finally decides it's too much trouble to travel every year between the planets Click and Spam, so he loads up his 20 pigs and leaves for the planet Spam. The public has nothing. That is, they have no economy, but they have a lot of dollars. Now that's an oversimplification. Our economy is more complex than that, obviously. It is a growing economy, and that makes the problem harder to see. But in essence, that's exactly how the system works. And that is the problem. And that concludes part 4 and 5 of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.